It took just 1 second on camera to trigger a domino effect that destroyed a billionaire's career. From a playful kiss cam moment to a shocking OnlyFans scandal, the downfall happened faster than anyone could imagine. Stay tuned until the end because that's when you'll discover the twist nobody saw coming. The stadium lights dimmed as 70,000 fans erupted in anticipation. Among them sat Andy Byron, a 50-year-old tech billionaire worth over $1 billion, completely unaware that the next 5 seconds would destroy everything he had built over decades. What happened that July evening at MetLife Stadium would trigger a catastrophic chain of events that would expose secrets worth hundreds of thousands of dollars and tear apart not just his family, but an entire corporate empire. Andy Byron wasn't just any CEO. As the founder and chief executive of Astromer, a data analytics company valued at over $1 billion, he embodied the American dream. Married to Megan Kerrigan for over 15 years, father to 3 children, Byron had carefully crafted the image of the perfect family man. His social media was filled with vacation photos, family dinners, and motivational posts about work-life balance. Behind the scenes, however, a different story was unfolding. The evening of July 16, 2025, started like any other corporate outing. Byron attended the Coldplay concert with several company executives, including Kristen Cabot, the 52-year-old head of human resources. Both were married, both were respected leaders in their field, and both thought they were safe in the anonymous crowd of thousands. Then came the kiss cam. Stadium cameras routinely scan crowds during concerts, projecting couples onto massive screens to encourage romantic moments. When the spotlight found Byron and Cabot, they were sitting unusually close, his arm around her shoulders in what appeared to be an intimate embrace. The crowd cheered, expecting a sweet moment between what they assumed was a married couple. Instead, viewers witnessed something extraordinary. Both Byron and Cabot immediately recoiled, their faces showing pure panic as they realized they were being broadcast live to 70,000 people and countless others watching the live stream. Chris Martin, Coldplay's frontman, noticed their awkward reaction and quipped to the audience, either they're having an affair or they're really, really shy. The crowd laughed. Martin moved on to the next song. But for Andy Byron, those 5 seconds had just triggered an avalanche that would bury his entire life. Within hours, the footage was circulating on social media. TikTok users began analyzing body language, freeze-framing the moment of panic, creating conspiracy theories about the relationship between the CEO and his HR director. The hashtag Coldplay scandal started trending as internet detectives dug deeper into both individuals' backgrounds. Byron's initial response was swift damage control. He released a statement through company channels describing the moment as a misunderstanding and emphasizing his commitment to his family and professional ethics. Cabot issued a similar statement. The company announced an internal investigation would be conducted, but the internet had already rendered its verdict. Employee testimonials began surfacing anonymously on workplace review sites, describing an uncomfortable dynamic between Byron and Cabot during company meetings. Former employees came forward with stories about late-night meetings, suspicious travel arrangements, and what one described as obvious tension between the two executives during board presentations. Meanwhile, at home, Megan Kerrigan was conducting her own investigation. According to sources close to the family, she had been suspicious of her husband's behavior for months. Extended business trips, secretive phone calls, and emotional distance had already planted seeds of doubt. The viral video was simply the catalyst that prompted her to dig deeper. What she discovered was far worse than a simple workplace affair. Buried in Byron's browser history and financial records, Megan uncovered a secret digital life that painted her husband as someone entirely different from the family man he portrayed publicly. Credit card statements revealed hundreds of thousands of dollars in charges to various online platforms, with the largest amounts going to adult content subscription services. The most shocking discovery involved Sophie Rain, a 23-year-old content creator on OnlyFans. Bank records showed Byron had spent over $40,000 specifically on private video calls with Rain over a 6-month period. But it wasn't just the money that devastated Megan.
It was the emotional intimacy revealed in their communications. Screenshot messages that later surfaced publicly showed Byron writing to Rain, "You make me feel alive again in ways I forgot were possible." Another message read, "My wife doesn't understand me the way you do." These weren't just financial transactions, they revealed a man who had emotionally checked out of his marriage while maintaining the facade of a devoted husband.
The revelation of Byron's online spending habits created a perfect storm of scandal. While the public was still processing the Coldplay kiss cam incident, news broke about the OnlyFans expenditures. Social media exploded with outrage, not just about the infidelity, but about the massive amounts of money involved. Comments ranged from shock at the sums, $40,000 for video calls, to criticism of his hypocrisy. This man preached family values while living a double life. Sophie Rain herself became an unexpected voice in the scandal. In a series of social media posts, she expressed remorse about her role in destroying a marriage, stating, "As a Christian, I don't condone this behavior. Cheaters are the worst people on this planet." Her public stance against Byron added another layer of humiliation to an already devastating situation. The corporate response was swift and decisive. Within 5 days of the initial video going viral, Byron's position became untenable. Board members, investors, and employees demanded accountability. The company's stock price, which had been steadily climbing, began to plummet as investors worried about leadership stability and potential legal ramifications. On July 21st, exactly 5 days after the concert, Andy Byron submitted his resignation as CEO of Astronomer. The board accepted immediately, implementing a succession plan that had clearly been prepared in advance. Byron's departure meant forfeiting not only his substantial salary, but also millions of dollars in stock options and performance bonuses that were tied to his continued leadership. The personal fallout was equally devastating. Meghan Kerrigan changed her surname back to her maiden name on all social media platforms before deactivating her accounts entirely. Sources close to the family reported that divorce proceedings were initiated within weeks, with Meghan seeking a significant portion of Byron's assets, potentially worth tens of millions of dollars. The couple's 3 children, ranging in age from 12 to 19, suddenly found themselves at the center of a very public family dissolution. Friends of the family described the situation as heartbreaking, with the children struggling to understand how their seemingly stable family life had imploded so quickly. What makes Andy Byron's downfall particularly striking is the speed and completeness of his destruction. In less than a month, he went from being a respected billionaire CEO to an unemployed man facing divorce, public humiliation, and financial ruin. The cascade of revelations, from the initial kiss cam moment to the OnlyFans scandal, created a narrative that the public and media found irresistibly compelling. Industry analysts have described Byron's case as a cautionary tale about the fragility of modern reputation. In an era where smartphones capture everything and social media amplifies every mistake, a single moment of poor judgment can trigger consequences that extend far beyond what anyone might expect. The Astronomer Company, meanwhile, has worked to distance itself from its former CEO. New leadership has implemented stricter codes of conduct and ethics training, while also launching a comprehensive review of all executive relationships and financial expenditures. Stock prices have partially recovered, as investors expressed confidence in the company's ability to move beyond the scandal. But questions remain that extend beyond Byron's personal failings. How does a man build a billion-dollar company while simultaneously living such a compartmentalized life? What does his story tell us about the pressures and temptations that come with extreme wealth and power? And perhaps most importantly, in our hyper-connected world where privacy is increasingly impossible to maintain, how many other powerful figures are living similar double lives, just one viral moment away from complete exposure? Andy Byron's story serves as a stark reminder that in today's world, character and reputation, built over decades, can be destroyed in mere seconds. The question for viewers is whether this represents justice for deceptive behavior or a cautionary tale about the unforgiving nature of our digital age where redemption seems increasingly impossible to achieve.